Hello and welcome to the Connection Compass podcast. I'm your host, Andrea Louise Evans. This week, I'm joined by Andrea Mellon, business mentor, intuitive strategist, and entrepreneur, for a deeply expansive conversation about soul-led business, intuition, identity, and self-trust. We explore what it means to lead from your inner authority, reconnect with your true self, and create success without abandoning who you are. From psychic gifts and spiritual remembrance to soul coding, nature, intuition, and releasing old identities, this episode is an invitation to soften, trust yourself, and step fully into the life and business that's calling you. Hello, Andrea. Welcome to the Connection Compass podcast. It's lovely that you're here. Strange to be interviewing somebody with the exact same name as me.
Yeah, very spooky. Meant to be, clearly.
It is. So, for our listeners, would you mind sharing a little bit about yourself, please?
Yes, absolutely. So my name's Andrea Mellon. I am a 60-year-old entrepreneur. And sometimes I have to remind myself how old I am because I don't feel it. I still feel 22. But I am a spiritual business coach, for want of a better title. My work enters around soul identity, soul connection, and everything related to that and business. So entrepreneurs can really connect to themselves. But me as a person, I enthusiastic about life, the world. I love animals, lots of coffee, copious amounts of coffee to keep me going. And yeah, that's me in a nutshell, really.
Thank you. Oh, can you tell us about your journey into this work?
Well, to be honest with you, I've always, even as a kid, been psychic, known things, experienced things, seen things that others couldn't quite interpret. So even from being small, I knew I was different. And then sort of through my life, this has just sort of got stronger and stronger and stronger and developed and developed. But more importantly, I think I've always led intuition first, and I tend to see through things quicker than most people do, which is interesting. So yes, it's developed, but it's always been there in one form or another. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a lot stronger now than it's ever been. And I think that's probably because I allow it to come through.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah,
Have you ever been afraid of that part of you?
absolutely not.
No.
No, not for 1 second. No,
Wow.
no. I treat it as a gift,
Yeah.
which it is, but I also treat it like I have a team around me that
Yeah.
support me from the spiritual realms as well as, in life.
So, in your work, I'm already going off tangent.
That's fine. We can go wherever you like. I'm just glad to be here. It's great.
So, it's really interesting. I liked that you use the words "I allow it" to you allow it. So,
Mm.
when you work with people, do you find that they are not allowing that part of themselves to come forwards, or
I think what people do is they get a little bit scared because they have these random thoughts or random feelings that don't quite feel associated with them, and they dispel them. They just ignore them, or they go against. They go against those feelings and thoughts. And a lot of the people I work with now are way more open than they have been in the past, because I came from a very sort of corporate, structured, frameworked life. I was in travel for many, many years, 25 years. Then I opened my own business, which was restaurants. So, of course, you have to have systems in place that function. And to bring spirituality into that just wasn't there. So, when I work with people now, I find that more and more they are open. They're open to learn. They're open to accept. They're open to allow. And those people that are a little bit resistant, I tend to find open up in my company because I'm happy to have those, I suppose, seemingly wacky, weird, and wonderful conversations that nobody else would listen to or would roll their eyes at.
and so when you were in the restaurant business,
Mm.
did this part of you just come through naturally into your work? So it's always been with you? Have you always felt that it's filtered within to your work, and what difference do you think it's made?
100% always been with me because I've always been able to see the bigger picture. So I've always been able to see not so much the end point, but the potential of anything and everything. So yes, it definitely came in because my first restaurant was, well, for want of a better word, it was a hole in the ground. It was literally an abandoned basement that had mounds of soil and God knows what in it. And everybody thought I was absolutely bonkers to run with this idea. But I'm like, no, because I can see it. I can see it.
Right,
I knew where everything was going to be, how it was going to work, what it was going to deliver, how it would evolve. I could literally see every single piece. And I think following that vision and literally owning that vision and allowing, like I mentioned before, allowing it to be birthed, really, to come forward, is that natural gift, and allowing my spiritual side and intuition to come into the business and seeing the potential in others within that business to then get them to allow themselves to expand and evolve as well. So it's always there.
Yeah. When you have that vision
Mm.
and you can see that end vision, are you always aware of how to get there?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Oh, that's
yeah.
great.
You don't, it doesn't mean to say that you don't mess up. Doesn't mean
Mm,
to say that you don't make a mistake or you have to, move slightly, pivot or do something slightly different
mm.
to adapt to the world and whatever's going on in business and life. But absolutely not exactly the path. Yeah. To
That's
the point, I remember vividly, this will put it into perspective, I think, a little bit. I remember one Christmas, we had 1,000 people booked in over an 8-hour period into the restaurant. Yeah, it's a lot. It was a lot. It was a lot.
yeah.
No other way to put it. And the night before, I had this vivid dream of if I didn't do X, Y, and Z, the whole day would collapse. To the
Okay.
point of moving all the furniture, appliances, and what have you around in the kitchen and in the dining rooms to restructure the whole process to make that day work. So I got into, the restaurant in the morning, everybody's doing the prep and what have you. And I held a team meeting and the chefs were like, what the absolute hell? I said, please bear with me. This is what needs to happen and we're going to do it. And we did it.
Wow, that's
We
amazing.
moved the whole framework, the whole sort of structure of the dining room and the kitchens and what have you around. And the whole day went absolutely on point. And if I hadn't done that, it would have collapsed. So that's the trust. That's the soul trust element that comes through,
Yeah.
accepting and allowing that you've got a gift and
Yeah.
that you should trust the process.
Yeah. When we have these feelings, this vision,
Mm,
knowing how to get there, it makes absolute sense to you, but
mm.
it might not necessarily make sense to the people around you.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. But I
So,
think I think I've been lucky though that they've trusted me because they've seen
yeah.
how things have progressed from sort of ground zero through. So yes, there might have been a few arguments and a lot of expletives to like, what's going on? But as the service started, they could say, actually, do you know what? This is all right. This is working. And I think if you can evidence what you do and why you're doing it, it makes a big difference. Because I was in there with them in my chef's whites, getting covered in garlic and God knows what, and and all the rest of it. So I think if you lead by example through that intuitive element of
Yeah.
yourself, it does give people confidence and courage to actually follow.
So it's that inner trust.
And they
And
get a
then
voice. Yeah, inner trust, complete inner trust.
mm,
That's how it works. What works for me. And you've got to allow them a voice. So when I'm working people, if they disagree or they think, well, I'm not really sure if I could do it that way, that's okay. What's your perspective? Can we integrate some of that perspective into this process?
yeah.
And we allow that, but ultimately the bigger picture, the map is already drawn. The universe has decided that's what needs to happen for the
Yeah.
flow to work. So you find a way to involve it.
That's fascinating. I've got goosebumps all the
Yeah,
way
you,
through that
you and me both.
conversation.
I think spirit have landed on my shoulders. They're here. They're here.
So I want to come back to the word soul and what is soul? How do you describe that?
I describe soul as the energy that connects us to everything.
Okay. Yeah.
So we are not separate from soul.
Mhm.
We are soul having a human experience. So we
Yeah.
are part of the cosmos, part of the universe, part of the ethereal world, just in a corporeal body, just to experience this.
And you've done any I think you've done an incredible job of providing that example of how you lead via via soul.
Mm.
Uh, is there anything else that you want to expand on that? Is there anything more that you want to say about leading with your soul we haven't
Yeah, I
talked
think it's
about?
all self trust and self identity, and it's about removing resistance and seeing what happens,
Okay.
and not to get upset or worried or anxious if it's not quite panning out, because you will be given the path. But it's
Yeah.
just it's literally self trust.
Mm. And where does identity come into it? How does that kind of play into
In terms of identity, for me, it's not about our personal persona that we give out to the world now. It's about soul identity and the layers within that. So it could be ancestral things that we've carried down through
Mhm.
generations. It could be things that we've carried from other timelines. But it's also more about removing the masks that hold us back. So, for example, this week, as you mentioned when we came on, I've had my hair cut.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
And I will give you this as an example because it might help the listeners to understand
yeah,
where I'm coming from, if that's all right. Because
absolutely.
we met, didn't we? Last it's only a week ago, just over a
Yeah,
week ago,
bank
isn't it?
holiday Monday, bank
Yeah,
holiday
absolutely.
Monday.
Fabulous day. And you know how long my hair was. It was down almost to my bottom, wasn't
It
it? It was
was,
like, it was,
yeah,
yeah. So I thought, I've been doing this work in one of my identity groups this week. It's basically called the Road to a Million. And the million isn't about just the pounds. It's
okay,
about the journey to success for whatever that looks like for
yeah,
those that are involved. And I again, leading by example, thought, you know what, I cannot do this work for these people. I need to do it with them.
mm,
So I did the work, I did the workbooks, we had the live comment, we did all the things. And during this, so many things that came up for me in terms of soul identity where I've been carrying the weight of other people's expectations.
mm,
And I was hiding behind that hair.
oh, mm,
I wasn't showing up fully. I
yeah,
was doing the work, helping people, doing the coaching, doing all the rest of it. But for me personally, I wasn't me. I was masking my identity to perform, which I'm not a performative leader or a performative coach, as I've exampled. So it was like, how do I get rid of this weight that I'm carrying, which was part of the identity that I was masking? And I thought, you know what, I need to have a haircut. I'm hiding behind this sort of, well, it was like cousin it, wasn't it? It was huge. So much hair.
it
So I literally had like 24 inches cut off the hair.
yeah, it looks amazing, it's
Thank
gorgeous,
you.
it looks
I feel
amazing.
I need to swish.
You
You
look
need to
gorgeous on
swish.
that day anyway, but you look
Oh,
even more gorgeous,
bless you, thank you.
you
But
glowing.
what that's
Yeah,
done, it's released that part of the identity, the soul identity where I was holding back and masking myself, my gifts. Because yes,
yeah,
I show up with them, but I don't always show up with them fully because I don't want to frighten people. No, I'm not bothered because all that weight has been chopped off. I just feel like a new person.
yeah.
So that is what I mean by an identity shift or an identity mask. When you lose that, you can step forward into the person that you were meant to be.
In your work, do you talk about getting quiet so you can hear those parts of yourself?
In some ways, yes. Yeah, and I think the more you go in, the more you can come out and the more you hear. So it is about having a quiet space. It is about getting out in nature and experiencing the outside world, the connection to everything that supports us, which is
Yeah,
the planet, basically, and the animals and everything that goes with that. So yeah, it is about softening things down. It's about simplifying. Asking yourself questions like, what do I not want? Don't ask yourself first what you want. Ask yourself what you don't want.
yeah,
When you've released what you don't want, you can see what's left.
yeah,
And then that quietens everything down. It softens everything and it helps you see that path. So certainly quiet spaces, quiet time, alone time.
yeah.
I'm a loner. As
Mm,
much as I'm part of, social circles and things, I'm a loner and I like being on my own in that
yeah.
quietness. Yeah.
I
It helps us see more clearly.
I definitely revel in the quietness.
Mm.
I think it's quite important. I tend to hear myself more in the quietness. I work
Yeah.
things out in the quietness.
Yeah, and I think sometimes as well, it's always good to have a notebook. I'm not a great journaler. I'll be perfectly honest with you. I find journaling hard work. Do you know, I'm just being honest.
Yeah, no, no, no.
It's just not for me.
Yeah.
I can't force it, but I can free write is what I call it. So, like, just I mean, not that it will show on here, but I've been scribbling on and off all day, and sometimes it makes sense, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes my hand just wants to do things,
Yeah.
and I think that is also sitting in that quiet space and seeing what comes up.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because as you said, journaling felt really constrictive and bind, but
Yeah.
that free writing, all of a sudden it gives you that expansiveness,
Oh.
doesn't it, to explore and go down different avenues. I've never really thought about that before.
And it's a term I use a lot, particularly with clients and friends. I'm saying, well, why are you forcing yourself to journal on something that could potentially trigger you, bring something up that you really don't want to be thinking about because really it needs to go away? You know, we need to release something. You know, why keep pulling things up? Just allow yourself to be free and to do that free writing. And I think when I position that to people about free writing, all of a sudden the boundaries drop and they can write.
I feel like that's what people need more of
Mm.
in the world is we need more space and expansiveness to explore
Mm.
instead of I think yeah, and I've honestly never thought about it. It's like, "Oh my gosh." I
Revelation.
I was like, "Oh," but yeah, I it's just really clicked with me how when we're journaling how constrictive it can all be.
Because you're giving yourself boundaries. Oh, I've got a
Yeah,
topic I need to write about this topic, but my brain wants to do this. My
yes,
heart wants to do this. My soul's going, give over, put it down, do something else. So
yeah.
if you allow yourself to just scribble, just
Mm.
write, just draw, you'd be surprised how freeing it is.
I love that. So, again, we've already spoken about it, but thinking about people who you've worked with and people that you've spoken to, people that you've met, what would you say working with the soul, leading with the soul, brings into the elements of our life from perhaps somebody that isn't leading with the soul?
Freedom.
Mm.
Just sum it up in one word, just freedom. Freedom to choose, freedom to decide again, like you said, you know what we don't want, and just self connection. It brings balance and harmony and inner peace.
Yeah, very
Because
much.
because you know people and leaders are business owners or you know whoever in the world who's got a lot on the plate, you know, mums, carers, we all feel like we have to do for the do. We have to do for the doing's sake. And when we pull it all back and start with us, because we can't pour from an empty cup. I used this analogy before. When we go into self and soul and we sit and evaluate things, we can bring a level of harmony and peace to us to help tackle with the hard stuff because we're centered. You know, and a lot of people say it's grounding, and sometimes people think grounding is making us stand still. It's not. It's connection to self that allows us to just be.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's really interesting because I've been on a very long journey.
And we all.
I
Yeah.
feel like I've been on a very long journey, but I would say in the past year, I've become more peaceful.
Okay.
And if you ask me what the elements of that is I've let go of control.
Mm.
I've explored, allowed things to come to me, ideas, thoughts, rather than control the narrative.
Yeah.
And I would say that I've allowed myself to be more me. So I would say, and particularly perhaps in the past week or two, I've definitely made, I'm kind of, I can feel tears coming to my eyes already. And
Oh,
if I
bless you.
start
Let them
crying,
come. They're there for a reason.
if I
Let them
start
go.
crying, this is about the third time I've cried on a podcast, I
That's
think.
okay. It's usually me that starts crying, so we're okay. You're in good company.
I would say that I really, for the first time, really made peace with myself that there's definitely an old part of my life that has to fall away, and
Yeah,
I'm okay with that.
yeah,
And I hadn't realized how much I'd stepped into the new world. I felt I was still on the peripheries and not really part of it, not really seeing myself as part of it. But I think, like, when we met, when we're in the group and we're chatting, and I felt like something just changed. And after I was reflecting, I was like, well, oh, my old life's fallen away. I'm like, already, I didn't think I was in this place, but actually, I am in a new place.
yeah.
And just final bits and pieces of the jigsaw have come into place, and I feel really ready to ready to embrace it. And today,
So you're allowing it, aren't you?
allowing it to, like, come through and embrace
Mhm.
it, like I was telling you about the book and things like that, and
Yeah,
just
amazing.
feeling really excited and lots of different creative thoughts, and it's like, "Oh, yeah, this is where I'm meant to be," and it just feels so peaceful.
Yeah. And it's like when you how can I explain this one? It's like carrying you're going on a holiday and you've got
Yeah,
10 bags and you only need 1. So you're carrying all the bags around with you and it's slowing you down and you're trying to
yeah,
juggle. And as soon as you let those bags go
mm,
and leave them at left luggage,
yeah,
you've got the 1 and
yeah,
it brings you into center.
yeah,
Mm.
definitely, a really big change, and it's really funny, I've not felt quite myself today. Felt a little bit, I don't know, discombobulated, a little bit
Okay.
anxious, but I honestly believe it's that old part
Moving itself,
just
leaving.
moving itself,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
leaving. Like, well, all of a sudden it's like, "Oh, I'm here. This is quite a lot. It's really good, but it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be
Yeah,
okay." I think
absolutely, absolutely, and you say if you allow that to happen and allow the thoughts to come through, and you don't have to keep going over them, you can just release them and say, "Thank you for giving me a lesson or an
yeah.
experience,
Mm.
but you've done your job. Off you pop. This is me." It's the way it is that weight that we tend to drag around with us that's, like you said, discombobulates, and I think, because you're stepping into this new phase, you're just feeling that shift. You're feeling that little energy go, "Oh, actually, could this be okay? Yes, it is. I'm gonna do it,"
And
you're just
it's
feeling it.
a little about that we talked about identity, and
So you're
it
leaving an old one behind, aren't you,
it
and stepping
yeah,
into a
it
new one.
has such a strong hold on us, even like the old identities, that
Mm,
sometimes it takes a while for them to fall away, doesn't it?
mm.
It takes
It does, but then by the same token, I'm gonna use the word again, we're allowing them to stay with us. We've got a
mm.
choice. I've carried my old ones for a long, long time, but then I just thought, "You know what? Enough."
I could see this conflict playing out in the external world,
Yeah.
and it was almost like the old identity was, like, grasping, like,
I
grasping
want
it
to
shut.
stay. I
I
want
want
to
to
stay.
stay, and I've had to be really no.
Yeah, firm with it and say,
Yeah.
treat it as a solid object and go, "Do you know what? I'm just gonna put you over there and I'm done." But the fact that you're realizing that though means that you are making that massive shift. Going into soul work, you're going into into this new form
Yeah,
of a new identity for you. You're stepping into a new energy. So
yeah.
you're absolutely on an amazing journey and it's brilliant. It's lovely to see.
Thank you. I've got
You're
goosebumps
welcome.
again.
I have
What
this effect, sorry.
so
How sorry, not sorry.
okay, what would you say are the signs that we need to dig deeper into our soul, particularly in business?
When you are constantly procrastinating, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result, and when you stop feeling excited.
Ah, Right. Okay.
Yeah. When you feel like it's an effort, stop, recalibrate, pivot, drop what you don't want.
Which can be quite a big thing to do, can't it? If you've invested a lot of energy and time into something, uh,
Yeah.
that can be difficult to let go of as
It
well.
can, absolutely. One thing I say to clients who are struggling with something like that is I say, okay, so you are not your business. Your business is not you. It's a separate identity, it's a separate soul, it's a separate configuration of you, yes, because you created it and you've invested in it. But just like you're changing, that can change too. So have a look at it as if you were outside of it. So, say, for example, if you were working for someone else on their business, look at it from that angle and see what needs to shift. And it just helps you identify the gaps, the bottlenecks, the bits and bats that are not working. And it helps you realize that you can operate outside your business. It doesn't have to consume.
So, can you tell us about your approach in terms of the fusion of strategy, energetic?
Right. So for me, it's about identifying what the person's where they are, what they want first. And then in terms of energetics, I use my own modality, which here we go again, back down to the
No.
spiritual. Do you want the whole story?
Absolutely.
So it's Saturday afternoon. I've been for a walk with my beautiful German Shepherd and my absolutely amazing boy, Chester. I don't know why I said German Shepherd. He wasn't a German Shepherd, he was an Old English sheepdog. That is weird. No, it's not weird. You know why? Because, oh my goodness, my German Shepherd was Holly and she's not been here for 20 odd years. And this week, I could smell lilies, so I know she's been here.
Ah.
Oh my goodness, that is so strange. Well, it's not though, is it? Because she's come to say hi. Right, I'll start again.
Yeah,
So there we go, listeners. This is what happens when spirit comes in. So I'd been for a walk with my beautiful dog, Chester, my Old English sheepdog, who unfortunately is no longer with us, but that's another story. And I'd made his Saturday sausages because we always had sausages on a Saturday, bless him. And I was sat where I'm sat now, talking to you, and I just got this urge to write. So I thought, no, I can't just write. I need a new notebook, as you do, because we're like that, aren't we? As creatives, we have to have new shiny pens and notebooks and things. So I got a new notebook and I sat down, and 8 hours later, I had literally downloaded from the universe, from source, God, spirit, whatever name you want to put on the energy, created a modality called soul color theory. And it was literally written from start to finish. And I use that modality to tap into what you are hiding within yourself, that your soul is trying to tell you, because I can make that internal connection immediately
wow.
by using colour and numbers and the positional values of those numbers. Now, bearing in mind, this is the first huge download I've had that's actually created its own modality that I use with my clients. And it's just been exceptional. So the energetics behind that is how I connect the dots initially, and then we work from there. So I'll give you an example.
Yeah,
Give me the first colour that pops in your head.
pink.
Pink. So pink's all about love and happiness and inward connection.
Mhm.
Okay. So can we give that pink a number?
4.
Number 4. So number 4 is all about your root chakra. So this is grounding and it's stability, and it's looking at how you can enjoy your life within the boundaries that you want to create, or not boundaries as such, but ideas that you want to create. And it helps you stabilize your work. So if you were to give that root chakra another number, what would you give it?
2.
Number 2. So number 2 is all about visibility, communication, expression, and conversation, which we're having now.
Yeah.
So that's how I link your energy.
The more I use my voice, the better things are. I love writing. I really do love writing, and I've written lots and lots of different things. I don't think I probably I probably never needed to produce any work ever again, just like go back over 10 years of writing in journals that I have.
Yeah.
But it's a bit like what you were saying before, I can hide behind it.
Yeah, and that's and
I
the hiding behind that could be because you are at this junction where you are stepping up and stepping
Yeah,
out. So one of those identity masks I mentioned could be you're hiding behind the writing.
that's
Then the
right.
conversation can change.
Whereas the more I use my voice, I
Yeah.
seem to get more interaction, and
Yeah.
so
And you're feeling it in you gave me the number 2. So
yeah,
in the modality, it's in the throat and heart chakra, and the
yeah,
pink is linked to the heart chakra as well, which you mentioned initially. And obviously the voice is
yeah,
the talking. So that positional value within the modality is helping
yeah.
you to express.
Yeah, and connecting it to astrology, my the Venus is actually in Leo, which is very like outward focused, isn't it? And
Yeah.
fire energy and in the spotlight. So I think I have a Scorpio moon, so I think that's the deep intense, that's the writing, that's like the secret, like the
Yes. Yeah.
inward
Yeah.
like focus. But
Yeah. The
really, my heart is likes to be out there and
Well, and that is clearly what's just demonstrated because obviously in that position too,
mm.
vocalizing this now, even just that, is going to release some of the energy to help you take it even further.
When you wrote it all out and you started to did you work with it on yourself first?
What? No,
Actually
well, do you know, it's a strange thing. No, I
mm,
didn't. Well, I did and I didn't. I looked at it, and bearing in mind this is like an A4 notepad, and it's not just scribble, diagrams, positions, numbers, connecting chakra systems. It's
wow.
literally, I mean, obviously it's podcast, so I can't show you, but it's literally diagrams and lists and just it's a full book. It's not
Yeah,
just a few scribbles. And I looked at it, I'm like, what on earth is this? Because I wouldn't say it was trance-like how it came through, but it was very much I had to finish it. I couldn't stop.
yeah,
Um, so when I got to the end, I looked at it, I'm like, what on earth do I do with this? What does it mean? So yes, I did test it. I turned it over and I looked at it and I said, okay, I'll see what it does for me. Colour, number. That. And as I was doing it, I'm like, oh my God, that is absolutely how I'm feeling, what I need to do. So I literally opened up a Facebook group that same evening and I called it the Colour Theory Experiment
yeah,
because it was an experiment. It's like, what do I do with this? It's meant to be alive. It's meant to be out in the world, but it's got to be tested. My nature is I'm a polisher. I like things perfect,
yeah,
which I know perfectionism is, not right really, is it? But I like things to work and I needed to
yeah.
prove that it was going to be okay. So I opened up this Facebook group and within a couple of hours I had 200 people in it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And again, you manage it, talking about the connection of energy. So clearly that energy was pulling in the people that were
yeah,
keen to do it.
yeah,
So within that, I would put in images, just coloured images, and just say, look, guys, you're going to think I'm absolutely bonkers, but I need to test this theory. This has happened today. Just trust me, go with the flow and let's see what happens. So you put an image in, ask them to give me a colour, like I did with you, a colour
yeah.
and number and what have you. And the accuracy was 100% all the time. It
Wow.
has never failed once.
Mm,
And even those people that openly laughed, rolled their eyes, said like, "Oh, this is just it's not working for me." Secretly, in the inbox, they'd be like, "How did you do that?
yeah,
How did that happen? Why is this working? You know, why is this helping me?" I'm like, "Well, because it's your soul's voice talking to your conscious mind through
yeah,
this connection of number and colours. It's your internal voice talking to you. It's your soul talking to you, giving you direction. And the more you work with it, the more balance comes in, the more peace comes in, the more harmony comes in. And
yeah,
it's like a set of instructions. So if you're feeling a bit off centre one day, you can bring a colour forward, ask it for a number, write it down, check the formula, and
Yeah.
you've got clear direction from your soul straight away.
Wow.
So the group worked, absolutely. Then I moved into doing soul sessions. So people would come into a soul session and they don't even have to devise any issues or struggles or whatever that they want to do, either for themselves or for the business. And we just literally run through that process of colour, numbers, positions,
Mhm.
chakras, and they don't even have to say it out loud. They get the map then of everything that will support them. And from there, it progressed even further because I thought, this needs to be out in the world. I need to teach people how to use this, even if they only use it for themselves when they're feeling stuck or uncomfortable. And I then progressed it and changed the names, not changed it in any way behind the scenes, but I thought soul colour theory is a bit of a long word, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we called it, I'm saying we, it's the spirit team and I, um, called it soul coding because
Right.
that's what we're doing. We're decoding the
Yeah.
internal energy, the internal, communication system that us as humans have forgotten how to do. So this is that remembrance. So yeah, so soul coding was born, and I've taken practitioners through that this year. And they are now using soul coding in their coaching, in their work. They're using it alongside human design, alongside astrology, alongside their modalities, because it doesn't interfere. It just
Yeah.
supports, and you
It,
can bring it in at any point. So we've gone from Saturday sausages, a Facebook, anybody that follows me will know what I mean about Saturday sausages. A Facebook group, the testing process, to a modality that now is being taught to practitioners.
That's incredible.
Mm.
Yeah. And do you see that in its highest potential now?
Yeah.
Be
The next level, there's 4 levels to soul coaching practitioner work. The first level is obviously to understand it and to be able to use it and use it within the work, but not to teach it. So
Yeah.
the next 3 levels are about embodying it fully and then becoming a trainer. So I see, and it's my legacy piece really,
Yeah.
alongside the work that I do with Soul, Self and Source, which is more of the integration and implementation stuff. But Soul Coding I see as my legacy piece. One of the reasons is because it needs to be in the world. I was given it for a reason. So
Yeah.
when we receive from Source, we should pass the light on, for want of a better expression.
Can I ask you a question that's come into my mind is when because I've been given a piece of work as well to bring out
Yeah.
into the
Oh,
world.
interesting.
Yeah. So what I wonder what a team says. Why do we get these pieces of work? Why are they given to us? Is it because we honor
Because
it
we are
as
capable and we honour the process, and because we are
okay,
capable. And
yeah,
because it's a process of remembrance.
okay.
We are one and all and everything. We're connected to the universe, to source,
Mm.
and we are given this as a form of remembrance so that we can bring light back into the world. So you're giving it for a reason.
So that that you have capacity for it to hold it and to take it out into the
Yeah.
world and
Yeah. To nurture it, to honour it.
mm,
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, some things are given to us just for us. For example, I just don't know again where this came from. Started to write light language about
okay.
12 months ago. And initially, it's more and it's not selfish, it's just for self. It comes through when it comes through. And it's
Yeah.
not something that I use in my work, it's for me.
Yeah.
It's sort of my connection
Mm.
to light beings to support my work. So that's more of an internal thing. So I think sometimes we're given things for us, but if you're honest with yourself, you know when it's not for you. You know when it's for the collective, for everybody.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm.
I feel a little like when we use cards like tarot or oracle,
Mhm.
I find that very personal, very inward, very private practice. It's almost like a sacred prayer to me,
Yeah.
really. I have done it for people, but not often, only when I feel a real pull to.
Mm.
In fact, I was working on a retreat a few months ago and I had some with me, and I was doing a Reiki session for a lady, and I just got this real pull to pull one for her and gave it to her to, and to look and read. But yeah, I do find that a very deeply sacred private practice.
Mm.
Whereas the connection compass framework, which is about connection, is about supporting people to return to
Yes,
a
yeah.
place of connection, not only with themselves, but to nature,
Mm.
to heart, to soul, but to take that out into the world
Yeah,
and create a better world that's for out there, you know.
yeah,
I've lived it, but
yeah.
I've lived it, but ultimately it's for out there.
And we can just, it doesn't have to be everything we get doesn't have to be for everyone. We don't have to constantly create and give, create and give, create and it's
Mm.
like you say, the sacred acts are for us, the light languages for me.
Yeah.
I do have conversations, for want of a better word, with my oracles and cards, deep conversations. So that's the personal side. But then I also, not very often actually at the moment, which is similar to what you're saying.
Yeah.
When I feel called, I feel called. I will pull a card. I will do a reading for people if I feel that that's what they need and that's what I'm being given, what's coming through me for them. But yeah, I agree with you there. It can be a very a self sacred
Yeah.
purpose. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I don't know how you feel, but I've found this journey very humbling and
Yeah.
incredibly grateful for all it's taught me.
Mm. Yeah, it is, and it makes you realise that as light workers,
Mm.
we're allowed to enjoy it as well. Yeah, and it is humbling. It's humbling in I don't know how to explain it. It's humbling in a very nurturing, kind way. It feels good.
So what is next for you on this path? What you're working on? What's or
Well,
just going with the flow?
if it doesn't, it's not such a much of a pun, but God only knows because they're going to send me whatever they send me. No, but joking apart, the next journey for me is I have decided to create a couple of containers, shall we call them? Although I don't really like the word container because it sounds like a Tupperware party, but there we go.
Yeah.
It's about supporting people to step into to the future selves, to embrace all of the spiritual side and the business side. So I've created a couple of things. I've got the Road to a Million, which was the boot camp that started this week. And I've called it a boot camp because it's been work. It's been
Right, okay.
deep work.
Mm.
It's like really ripped out the mask. It's really changed people's identities, if you will, and and their expansions. So that has done a lot of deep soul work this week. It's been fabulous. So from there, I'm creating a 2-day workshop, which I will run at regular intervals, and that will work on soul, self, and source. And it will also work on momentum mapping and money for business. And then from there, there's my limitless mastermind, which is going to be a 3-month rolling program.
Right.
So people can come in at any point, anytime, stay with me for 3 months or stay with me forever, for as long as you feel like you're getting value. But commitment to the 3 months
Mm.
will make substantial shifts. And that is where we're really going to see some pivotal work being done. People bringing their own modalities into life, people expanding the businesses, people feeling not just from the outside world looking successful, actually being successful with what it means
Yeah.
to them. So those are the next things that are on the pipeline. And then who knows what will be downloaded next time I have sausages on a Saturday.
It all sounds very exciting, and it sounds really good, and,
Yeah, I'm
it's
very excited about it
impactful.
because
Yeah.
I've dropped a lot of masks, as I mentioned before, but this feels so aligned. I can absolutely taste it. I can
Mhm.
see the whole thing, just like I did going
Yeah,
back with the restaurant. I can see the whole thing. So
that's
it's
incredible.
it's lovely.
And one final question, do you
Absolutely.
have a favourite song and why?
Oh no, this might make me cry. It's Ordinary by Alex Warren.
Okay. I've not heard that one. Yeah.
Just listen to it.
Okay.
Ordinary.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a song I dedicate to my dog, Chester, that passed.
Oh.
Because he was my soul. I have a soul contract with him. He's part of me. Oh, we talk about you getting tearful. I'm doing the same. Listen to
Sorry,
the
I didn't
song.
mean to make you cry.
No, please don't apologise. This is just me. And this is
Right.
what I encourage people to do. If emotion comes up, let it come out.
So, final question then. So we've had a lovely chat and you brought so much energy and information to the podcast. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
You are more than welcome.
Is there anything that you want to just say, just free? Do you want to put out there? Anything you want to share with us?
Yeah, I just want to say to everybody, just do it. Just do it. Honestly, just trust yourself and just go for it.
Yeah,
Whatever it is, just go for it.
that is absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much, Andrea. Thank you for your time and energy today. It's been incredible.
You are more than welcome. I have loved it. And thank you so much for asking me. I really appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank you.
What an incredible, unique episode of the conversation that I've had with Andrea today. It's just incredible and so interesting. And in life, we never know which way our path is going to go. And it shows the importance of leaning into that inner trust, especially when you are struggling and, if you just find yourself and get yourself into a quiet space, listening to yourself, you will never be lost in life. You will always find a way through. And if you're craving more alignment, freedom, peace, and truth in the way that you live and work, then please check out the links in the show notes for more information on Andrea's work. Thank you for listening to this week's episode of The Connection Compass. If you think this episode will help somebody else, please leave a review. And remember to keep talking, keep connecting for a more interconnected world. See you next time.